Hi everyone. So this is a small cheat sheet for GarageBand if you're choosing the loop option. Okay, and I've opened up my new track by clicking new. I'm using my tablet, my iPad. You can also use your phone. It will open up to exactly the same kind of interface. Okay, and we're going to click the plus sign and it's going to come up with loops and instruments. We're going to choose loops, okay? Great to choose loops because sometimes we're not as inspired like straight off the bat, and to have a existing sample there can maybe sometimes jog a little bit of creativity that has been a bit stagnant. Okay, so it's very essential. It's very inspirational to actually use the existing samples. Okay, so now you're going to open up, you're going to have Apple Loops, Files, and Music. You're going to have a new interface just by choosing the loops option, and we're going to have instruments, genres, and descriptors. Okay, so we're going to focus on instruments. I like to start with drums, and then you can choose your genre. And in my case, I'm choosing reggaeton pop. Okay, and you have a couple of different genres depending on what you have in your sound library. And of course, with Apple Loops, you can download a lot of different kinds of sounds that go in your sound library. But for now, I'm choosing drums, and I'm in the reggaeton pop genre, and I'm going to have a listen through and see which one I like. Okay. Oh, and right off the bat, I really like that one. So I'm going to hold on to that bittersweet snare, and I'm going to drag it over into the square where I used to have the plus sign. Okay, now you can see that's going to be the track for your drums. Okay, so next, I love to then change the instrumentation. What do we need next? A chordal instrument. Okay, so a chordal instrument is either a guitar or a piano, anything that provides us with the chords that can play the chordal structure of the piece of music, so that we can then start to create a melody, and then from the melody we create some lyrics after that. So I'm going to choose piano. I'm going to stay in the same genre of reggaeton pop. You can change at this point if you'd like to, and we're going to have a listen again. And I'm going down, I'm just having a listen to all of them. So I like the second one because I think it goes really well with our drums. So I'm going to press onto it, and I'm going to drag it over next to the plus sign just underneath where I had the drums. Okay, so now we've got that. We're going to just close that little loop that we have there, and I just wanted to go to the settings. Okay, guys, so I'm going to just show you a small cheat sheet right now, and you can see we have the new, which is our new track choice. We have the plus, which is the add, where we can add extra tracks. Okay, we have the play button. We have the button that kind of stops everything and takes us just to a neutral, clear space. We have the little metronome icon, which actually, when it's highlighted blue, then you know that it's going to be on when you start to record, and will give you a countdown. Okay, and then we have a little loop. Okay, a little rope, I like to call it. And this one basically, yes, takes you back to the Apple Loops menu. Okay, so that you can then continue to revisit more instrumentation if you want to add some more. Okay, and then you've got, of course, the red record button. You've got the wheel, which is the settings button. Okay, on the iPad or smartphone, and also on the phone. So it'll come up to track controls, where you can individually control the volume as well as the EQ of all the different tracks. Okay, just make sure that track is highlighted, and it will obviously be like, illuminated in light blue for you to be able to change the volume on that, or the EQ, or add compression or echo to it. Okay, and you have the song settings as well. Okay, and that will tell you the tempo. You can choose what kind of tempo to choose for that. You can choose adapt the key if you want to, change the key if you want to. You've got FX as well, which is the effects, and you've got filter and repeater there. And while you're recording, you can obviously, a version of it, you can do that with that as well. Okay, you can change it up, almost like a live DJ. Then you have the square with like the two ears, I like to call it, and it takes you back to the new track menu option. Okay, so for you to go all the way back to choose a completely new song. Okay, and then of course, last but not least, you've got this little upside down white triangle, which really is just saved to my songs, and then you can really save it to my songs, and you can also give it a working title. Okay, working title means just a title that you will use in the meanwhile while you're figuring out what it's really going to be called. Okay, so I'm going to just freeze that there for you, and you guys can have a look at that. And I'm going to do the same with just the first one, so you can see what's what. Okay, let's go back a bit so you can really see. There we go. Okay, and of course I will also put this into the classroom when we are busy working on Zoom. Okay, so you have an idea of that. So let's keep going. Now we're going to end up just going to our little settings wheel. We're going to click on that. Okay, it's going to give us a count-in. Our tempo is 110. Our time signature is 4/4. Our key signature is C major, which means our tonal center. And we can decide if we want to do a fade out or not. So I'm going to do a fade out. Okay, and that's really what this part looks like. You can see. Okay, and so that's done. Okay, so right now we're not going to add any vocals just yet. Okay, this is just for us to get our instrumentation down. Okay, our existing loops. And so we've also got this little button that I call next to the effects over there. It kind of looks like grapes growing on a vine, and that is really your track controls. Okay, so you'll have a separate button for that when you're using a tablet, but when you're using your iPhone or your smartphone, that will actually be under the settings wheel and under song controls. Okay, or track controls. Okay, so now you can see the inside of your track comes out. So you've got this is your piano track, and you've got the volume up, and you've got the EQ, and you've got compression. So I'm going to put a little bit of compression on that, put a little bit of reverb on that. Okay, and then just by clicking on the actual illuminated piano sign, once you open that, it takes you to what kind of recorder. Yeah, what kind of recorder. So you can decide: clean, monster, robot, dreamy. I'm going to go with dreamy. Okay, and there we go. And now I'm going to click onto my beats. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit of compression. I don't really want too much echo on the beats, and I think I'm going to leave the beats exactly the way they are. Okay, so I'm not going to click anything else. Let's just go back. Okay. And oh yes, very important, this is actually your go back button, the hairpin arrow. Okay, that's your undo go back button. Okay, very good to know. Okay, let's look at the effect.